So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now in this video we're going to be taking a look at some trophies that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks. Starting off here on Rancho Coast where we have a level 5 Canada Goose landed just off of the road up ahead of us. Now managed to drop him there with the 22 and this is a common grey-brown plumage type Canada Goose, which I haven't actually seen just like a common level 5 for these guys in a while. It feels like you see so many of the brown hybrid level 5s, whether you're seeing them yourself or seeing them posted, that it was actually kind of nice to just get a classic looking diamond Canada Goose. Now he's not a huge diamond at 8.8, but still a really good size Canada Goose. I really do like these guys. I'd like to get some better size rares for them at some point, but they are really nice birds and that was just a nice bonus while I was out here looking for mountain hare. Now for this next clip we actually have a rare female tufted duck. The one on the right in this clip is actually a rare female and it can be kind of hard to spot these, but this is actually a cream female tufted duck and the only difference is that the feathers on the cream are actually slightly lighter in colour than the common, and we'll take a look at that as we get closer to it. So the most noticeable feature is these sort of light brown feathers around the white feathers on the chest. Normally those are sort of an orangey colour, orangey brown colour on a common, but they're sort of a light brown colour on the cream. And you can see here she is a cream, and the other feathers on her are sort of lighter in colour as well. They're not quite as bright and vibrant as on the normal common females, but this can be a really tricky rare to spot, and this was in the same server as that Canada Goose, by the way. But yeah, the cream tufted ducks can be hard to spot if you don't know what you're looking for. In fact, when I shot one for the very first time, it was in early access for Rancho Coast, and I didn't even have any recordings of it because I shot it as it came in with a flock, didn't have any idea that it was a rare until I picked it up and it said cream, and that was the first time I ever saw one. Like I said, it's one of those more subtle rares, so definitely one to keep a close eye out for if you're hunting tufted ducks. Moving on to the next clip, and we have a much more obvious rare. We have a Leucistic male Goldeneye. Now this guy is absolutely beautiful and he's actually a really good size rare as well. Now the Leucistic Goldeneyes have a couple of different variations. This isn't my favourite for them, but it still looks really cool because as you can see, instead of having that green head, it's sort of like patchy. There's a bit of green on the top and some little spots of it, but it's mostly white. A very gorgeous looking rare. Like I said, not my favourite pattern of the different Leucistic patterns that they have, but still really beautiful. And I'm pretty sure this guy is the biggest Leucistic I've ever had for these guys at 1048.93. A really good size rare. The only Leucistic variation I'm actually missing for the Goldeneye at this point is a Leucistic female variation. There's a couple of different variations for the females as Leucistics as well, and yeah, I'm just missing one of those variations. So I always hope that that variation will come in, as that's actually one of my favourites. It looks really cool, but always awesome to see such a good size rare come in like that. That was really awesome. But moving on to the next clip, and we're in that same spot, and we have a level 3 Eurasian teal. Now, I absolutely love these guys. They are so beautiful, and it actually has my favourite of the common plumage types for these guys, which is the light green. It is just absolutely stunning. I remember the first time we saw one of these on one of EW's reveal streams for Rancho Coast, and I just fell in love with how gorgeous they are. I mean, to me, they're the most beautiful waterfowl in the game. I think they are just absolutely stunning, and getting this guy is just so cool. I know that they're one of the more common waterfowl diamonds. You see a lot of Eurasian teal diamonds posted, but I always am, happy to see one because they're just so beautiful. He's not a huge diamond at 356.48 when 354 is diamond, but nevertheless, a really cool trophy. And sticking with Eurasian teal, something happened again. Once again, whilst sat out here with decoys hoping for rares and diamonds to come in, a very exciting rare came and landed at this setup. Once again, we have a hybrid blue Eurasian teal, which is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. I had one of these guys for the longest time that I got just after Revontuli Coast released, and then I end up getting 2 more within, I don't even know, not very long of each other, which is just wild. Absolutely wild. Like, these are so rare. You know, some of these hybrids, especially for things like the Goldeneye, the Eurasian Teal, hybrid Hazel Grouse, a lot of these hybrids that came out with Revontuli Coast and since then, they're just so rare. And then I've ended up with 3 hybrid blue Eurasian Teal, which is nuts. There is a hybrid green for these guys as well, which I'd love to get eventually, but I don't even know what kind of luck I've got to end up with 3 of these absolutely beautiful birds, but I will absolutely take it. That was just wild. Now, all of the rest of these clips in this video are actually going to be from my single player maps, as I still had some spots on certain maps that I actually hadn't fully explored ever since I started a fresh save. Oh, at this point, absolutely months ago, maybe even nearly a year ago, when I was really heavily grinding moose. I think it was before I got my first moose great one, and I reset my account, restarted my save, and there were just some spots on some maps I fully hadn't checked out, so I decided to go and check some of these spots out, and one of the first things I found here on Rahonga Savannah was a level 5 Lesser Kudu, and I was really excited to see this. I hadn't seen a level 5 Lesser Kudu in a while, and this guy ends up being a max weight diamond, 105 kilos, and I'm pretty sure he's my biggest diamond Lesser Kudu ever at 155.53. So this was a really awesome find for actually coming back out to single player Rahonga and actually finally doing the coast run and running all the way around the coasts, because those spots along the coast are so fantastic for Kudu, Cape Buffalo, Warthog, and I just hadn't checked them in my own single player. I get caught up a lot in doing a lot of multiplayer, but the way that multiplayer has been recently, I've ended up going back more and more into single player, looking for more and more spots that I might not have checked, and this is what I ended up finding, so it was pretty cool. Now, he is slightly uneven, which, taking a look at his true score, you can see, which I did think he was slightly uneven when I was looking at him, and it was interesting to see that I was actually correct when taking a look at the true score, but a very impressive Lesser Kudu. Now, like I said, sticking with single player, and this time we're on Parque Fernando, once again running the coast, which is something I hadn't done on Parque for Water Buffalo, and I ended up coming up pretty much almost all the way along the coast, and then I spotted this guy, a 9 legendary Water Buffalo. There hadn't been really anything of note along pretty much the entire coast. I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 mythicals, but they weren't even very big. And then I see this guy, and I was really excited. He had a good estimate, and he looked pretty big to me, so I was hopeful that this guy would actually make diamond. Again, a species I haven't actually had a diamond for in quite a while. These are maps that I tend not to hunt so much at the moment, because I tend to be focused on things like Revontuli and Emerald Coast, trying to get, you know, Diamond Mountain Hair off of Revontuli, which is still the absolute goal for me in this game at the moment, or trying to get some of the harder to find rares. So it's been cool to come back out to some of these maps and get some diamonds that I haven't seen in a long time. This guy is a diamond at 170.19, so a little bit over that requirement, which is 167.54, so he does make it by a decent amount. And like I said, it's just cool to come back out to these maps and see some species that I just haven't seen in a while, especially seen any big ones of, because, you know, I've been busy hunting other maps. So just a really cool thing to end up finding whilst I'm out here checking my parquet to see what was out here. I hadn't really touched my parquet really at all. There was so many unexplored spots, so it was cool to actually find a diamond out here just chilling on my own map. Really cool. Also on my single player here on Parque Fernando, I ended up finding a very pretty rare. That being a piebald female axis deer. Now, in the past, piebald axis deer really weren't a rare. They were so common, you'd see them all the time. But ever since Emerald Coast released, they are a proper true rare. You do not see very many of them. And they are now absolutely gorgeous, far more beautiful than they ever were. Now, I did accidentally spook this female, but managed to get a shot on her as she was fleeing. I was just trying to make sure I'd get a shot that would bring her down, as obviously we don't need to worry about ruining the score. Thankfully, I did manage to get a shot that brought her down very quickly, and she is just absolutely stunning. What a gorgeous rare. Like, I am so glad that these are a proper rare now, because I think a super rare Piebald Diamond Axis deer would be really awesome. I love the different shades of brown. It's almost like tricolour. You have sort of a lighter brown, a darker brown, and then obviously the white of the Piebald. It looks really stunning. Like, that is absolutely gorgeous. It is so cool that this is now a proper rare. Because, like I said, in the past, they were just everywhere. You'd see Piebald Axis deer all the time. Like, they weren't even worth shooting. So it's really cool now that they are actually, you know, noteworthy. And they are so much more beautiful than they ever were. So that is so, so cool to see. Now, for the last two clips, we're actually going to be out here on Rancho, which is a map I haven't hunted in absolutely ages. And similar to Parque, my Rancho map was basically untouched. The whole map was basically unexplored. I'd looked for like one or two things, checked a couple of lakes, and then I'd just gone back to hunting like Revontuli and Emerald Coast in multiplayer. And I came out here and decided to do a look around for collared peccary and ended up finding this level 5 at a really good hotspot. This hotspot has been kind to me in multiplayer before. This is where I ended up getting an albino peccary. So I knew that this would be a good spot to check on my own map, and there was a level 5 here. Now, I was really surprised that this guy ran from a shot from the 44 lever action. Like, they're so small. And you can drop animals much, much bigger with a double lung shot from the 44, but this guy tanked it and ran a little bit before he actually dropped, which for such a small creature is nuts. But these guys are renowned for being quite tough, so that was actually kind of cool to see. Now, he does make diamond, but only just. Diamond requirement is 144.25, and he makes diamond at 145.34. So one of the smaller diamond peccary I've ever had, but again, just a cool thing to find coming out here and exploring one of my own maps that really I should have checked a long time ago. It's something that always happens. You know, new content comes out, there's diamonds and stuff that I'm missing, and I go and look for those, and then there's spots on my own maps that I might not have checked. And it's been really rewarding coming out and actually doing that, seeing as multiplayer is just a hellscape at the minute of hackers and cheaters and mods and terrible things. Sticking with collared peccary here on Rancho, and this time we have a rare. This is a leucistic female peccary. Now, the leucistic peccary are really, really cool to me because one of the first trophies I ever found for collared peccary was a leucistic. So they kind of have a special place in my heart because of that, and they look awesome. Now, when I took that shot, I was trying to squeeze it in just as she was turning, but I felt like I probably hit her in the skull. Not too worried about that because she is a female, but I was pretty confident that's what happened. And taking a look, yeah, we hit her in the skull and the upper neck, and that's why she dropped instantly. So we do lose a harvest check for that. She would have been a silver, ends up being a bronze. I have had male leucistics in the past. In fact, I've shot a lot of leucistic peccary. When I was looking for an albino back in the day, I kept finding leucistics until I found an albino finally, which took ages. But I do really like the leucistics. They're a very unique looking leucistic in this game, so a really cool one to end up finding. But that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. A little bit of multiplayer, a little bit of single player, finding cool trophies on both, so I'm really happy with what I've ended up finding. Some really, really cool things. I still can't believe I ended up finding another hybrid blue teal. To me, that is just absolutely nuts. Just wild luck. I hope eventually one day I can find a leucistic Eurasian teal, which is the thing that I'm looking for the most, is a male leucistic. And it's wild to me that I haven't been able to find a leucistic male, but I've ended up with 3 hybrid blues. To me, that's just insane how that's worked out. And then coming out to single player and finding some really nice trophies tucked away on my own maps, that's been really cool too. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.